Uh,
Please be patient. I'm using a computer to help me communicate. Good morning. I'm Cesar Delgado from Banks Road of Illinois podcast. Here today with Jacque Fatka. Good day. Jacqueline, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me today, Cesar.
Can you explain the audience to tell me about your work in Washington, D.C. for AgriPulse?
Absolutely. So just a little bit of background on me. I grew up on a corn and soybean diversified farm in Southwest Iowa. So my dad still farms there. So I always love to tell the story of ag policy and how it impacts farmers. So I'm excited to talk with you more today. I do lots of different reporting and in AgriPulse on different issues as it relates to ag policy and livestock issues. I cover a lot of the food discussion, a lot of food policy. So some of that relates to SNAP, and just finished up the story on fruit and vegetable benefits for the Women, Infant, and Children's program, but then also how the importance of the partnership between ag policy and food policy as we look to get a farm bill across the finish line.
What is your source about the Farm Bill and SNAP program that is up to debate in the Senate committee?
So yeah, as I mentioned, there's always this important connection between ag policy, which a lot of farmers recognize as this farm safety net, but also the nutrition policy, which a major portion of the nutrition policy is the SNAP program, which is a supplemental nutrition assistance program. And every year that the farm bill debate comes up, there's always a discussion on how those two are together, because in the House especially, you have 435 representatives, but fewer and fewer of those are from farming districts. And so when you look at the Senate, you do always just have 2 representatives from every state, but each one obviously has people who need food. Everybody needs food. And there is agriculture in all of those states. And so that partnership between the nutrition side and the farm bill, but commodity titles, is really important. And so every year we do have somewhat of a debate between those, but it's also really important to pair the nutrition policy to get enough votes, because if we only had the farm safety net that a lot of the farmers use, we may not have the votes to get a full bill across the finish line.
How about the PLC or ARC in the Farm Bill?
So, some years we've had some revolutionary farm bill changes, right? So when we implemented the the PLC and the ARC programs 2 farm bills ago. They were newer. They were based different than what we had seen in past years. And I don't expect that we're going to have huge changes to those, but there's a lot of discussion on where we set the reference prices for the PLC program. And then also, with the average revenue coverage, the ARC program, making sure that you have it at a level that accounts for the rising input cost. And, soybean growers, this is an important consideration for them because they've not seen some of the support in recent years, especially when we saw things like the China trade war. Those programs didn't provide that safety net. And so there's a lot of discussion on where you set those reference prices, but everything costs money, and we don't have a lot of extra money right now that Congress is willing to put into this bill. And so that's going to be really difficult as we move forward in the Farm Bill.
Is there anything the specifics to the soybean farmers in the Farm Bill like PLC or ARC as well in the trade in China?
One thing that a lot of the groups are asking for is additional money for trade, developing trade markets. So the Foreign Market Development Program and the Market Assistance Program, MAP, FMD and MAP funding. And so many groups, including the Soybean Association, are calling for an increased funding for that because that helps put money where future markets can be. And so, there's a lot of discussion after the China trade war of making sure that we're not putting all of our focus on the big gorilla in the room, because sometimes we can boost these other markets. And so that's one thing that I think there's a lot of discussion about whether they'll have the extra money. We will see. And also to research, putting some more money into research so they can continue to increase yields, improve sustainability, and do more market development here, even domestically, by creating new product channels for soybeans.
Of course, you were right about that. Thanks, Jacqueline. Is there anything you would like to tell the audience on the podcast?
I think it's still important for farmers to make sure that they let their congressmen know the impacts of things that are going on, what it means on the farm, the higher input cost, and whether the current Farm Bill system works for them. We've talked some about the PLC program and the ARC program. Are there opportunities to change that could better provide a safety net? And another big part is the crop insurance program. And I do think that crop insurance will continue to be an important safety net, and making sure that farmers share the importance of crop insurance to their farm and the impacts. As we hear some more proposals as we go into this summer and into the fall, I think we're gonna really pick up work on the Farm Bill. So it's important for farmers to make their voice heard, write their congressman, call their congressman, work with their industry groups to make sure that they are clearly articulating the impacts of the policy for them on the farm.
This is Jacqueline F. on the Back Roads of Illinois podcast today, out of AgriPulse. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
For Back Roads of Illinois podcast. I am Cesar Delgado. Have a fantastic day.
I'm